Slide 7. This is slide 8.
Are we on? Okay, let me know. I'm gonna do a quick hello to John that's on there and let him know it's streaming. Hey Doug, how you doing? Greetings, apologies, John, and anybody else that's on. We are here live. We are going through things, so I've been talking for a couple minutes, but we're gonna keep going here and you'll kind of hear what we're talking about. Thanks for joining. Doug, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we are going through what we talked about last week. Doug, you weren't here, but we're quickly gonna jump over to Patty's updates and comments. And if you have any, so we're on last week's version. Again, back to Patty, that story, that I think that's what we agreed could be the takeaway if we get there, but it's the providing the information and education piece
Okay.
up to that. So we could, if you want, I mean, we could jump over to your comments because none of the other slides really changed a whole lot.
Okay. All right. So I think the flow of this is quite good. And when I opened at the beginning of this meeting, I said, I feel like all the content is there and it's just a matter of like smushing it together so that it's the slides are tighter. So what I did was I liked your intro slide. I made some word changes there. And then I kept the about our district formatting more or less. But instead of having multiple pages on expenditures, I just smashed them together and I'm like, all right, on slide 4, we talked about sources of funding. And then slide 5, we talked about how we spend our budget. And the theme on both slides and 4 about our district is basically it's very neutral. There's very little like judgment about like, is this good or bad? It's just like, this is just how it is. And then
Does it shout we're spending money on people?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And
student people.
exactly. So on slide 5, the left side of the page says, where does the money go? 83%, or, it goes to teacher, staff, and salaries, programs for students, and books, classrooms, and materials. And then what's driving cost? It's staffing cost, unfunded mandates, special ed services. And we can do more to the pie chart. We can call out 83% is, student and staff salaries and benefits, like there's other things we can do. But to me, this was just a simple way of like condensing the content.
To clarify though, is the intent of the slide to show total expenditures?
Yes.
Okay, because I think the table and the commentary on the left is just student facing spending.
Oh, okay.
So if the intent is to show the total snapshot, then we would need to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't mind that, just from my kind of, I don't know, initial thoughts. It's like, it's two ways of, it's a way of looking at what we think is very important. And then a way of looking at like, do you have more questions about more detail about how the money is being spent? Because the salary and benefits.
I understand. I understand both points. I think, Rebecca, you want it to be clear that the chart on the left does not show total,
Yes.
the total budget 120. If you add those up, it doesn't equal 121 million. So we can fix that. And then and Mark, I think we should maintain kind of these two graphs because
but it should be total. Like I think we start with the total, especially if it's in about the district. And then we can later on say of the total 80% or whatever.
Yeah. I mean,
saying the graph to the left and the other one to the right.
No, what I'm saying is right now it's a little bit misleading because.
Right. So there's an easy way to fix that, which is we can add a 4th bar, which is not student facing spending. And then we'll color the first 3 bars blue for student facing spending. And then there will be a gray bar for not student facing spending. And then those 4 bars should add up to 121 million or whatever the proper number is, the full number is. Slide 6, I like this slide a lot and I like the changes you've made over time to it. But my the further evolution is to clean up the graphics so that it's basically a slide that says, how are we doing? And it's like, we're actually okay on reserves, fund reserves, spending per student, and facilities funding. We have a caution on AV growth, and we have concern around operating surplus. And then my recommendation is use slide 6 as the index, or like the pivot from like, here's who we are about the district, to number 6, like, here's our financial health, here are, here's where we're good, here's where we're bad. And then slide 7, we can have the slides on, what is happening in operating surplus and AV growth that's causing these two columns to be orange and red.
I have 2 comments. The first one is, I would argue that we should have that. I'm a little hesitant to have this glaring red, this is this operating deficit as a concern. Because, well, first of all, if we do this, if it's just 1 year, like a 2% deficit is not in isolation in itself necessarily a glaring red flag.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Let's call that a caution, make it orange.
Well, hang on there. I don't agree with that. And here's why. What I hear you all saying is, let's tell this story so that we understand in order what's happening. So as Patty was talking, I was thinking, oh, actually, yeah, we could go green, show the blue, then show the orange, then show the red. It is a huge concern of the public's right now, those who are here or elsewhere reading, that the future, so not the current operating deficit. The current operating deficit is caution.
Yes.
But if we were to change current to future, that would be red.
Okay, then you need to clarify, because right now the title is current.
So I'm open to edits, but I don't want to dismiss the red. Because I think that was the main takeaway last week that we agreed on, is that if we don't do anything, we're definitely going to go.
Okay,
red.
then I think we should just.
I mean, do you all agree with that, or?
Yeah, so what I would say is,
Fascists agreeing in
Yeah.
I'm the speaker.
Sorry, I did not realize you don't see me. Yes, I agree with you.
With who?
I'm Vash.
Who do you agree with?
You agree with keeping the red or making it orange?
Mark, I agree with Mark
He
too,
agrees with Mark.
so that we also reflect the public's concern and don't overstate it in a too positive light.
so can we agree to, so I like the order that these columns are in, but can we make facilities funding green instead of blue? Like, why is there a 4th color? Can we make it green, red, orange, green, green?
Yeah, healthy.
To say that, to say it's stable is the same as healthy to me. And then the order matters, because we care a lot about our fund reserves. We care secondly about our operating surplus. We care thirdly about our AV growth, fourthly about per student expenditure, and then fifthly about facilities funding. So it's bad that something so far over to the left is red, and then the next one over, the third one, is orange.
Right, so wouldn't it make sense though? I'm not sure how we came up with the order of this, but wouldn't it make sense to talk about per student expenditure first? Fund reserves are healthy, facilities are healthy. Then we get into the caution area, then we get into the red area, just as a flow in terms of when we were talking about it.
But we should be honest about which ones are the most important, even if it's, I don't want it to be like green, 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 red, red, like I want it to be in the order. I want the columns to be in the order of which of these KPIs are the most important.
Which are they? Do we know? Do we have an opinion? I guess I'm trying to remember how we came up with this order, because it doesn't look like it's in order, but I don't know.
There is a particular order that is absolutely correct. There are ones that are more impactful. So facilities funding for most people is going to be lower on the list unless your schools are falling apart, and then it becomes really big, right? So
Yeah.
I would, on my side of things, it's operating surplus, because that impacts you every single year. Your fund reserves, your AV, per student growth, and then facilities funding. But that can be changed.
Wait,
Not
you
again,
can say that again?
Rebecca,
Sorry.
do you have like, that's my kind of opinion, but,
I'm ambivalent on the order.
What was the order again? Operating?
operating fund reserves, assessed value.
I think it's switching the first and second.
Yeah.
But I do feel like, I think the multi-year outlook is more important than a given, a single year surplus or deficit in isolation. So if we are gonna flag it red, we should be clear this is a like 3-year, 3-year projection. And then I would also strongly feel that we should asterisk it if we somehow clarify that this is if we do nothing. But it's clear that the district is not doing nothing. We're already having conversations about what's most important to tee up the difficult conversations that will come in the future.
So 2 questions for that. That sounds good. Do we want to take the header and make it 2025 to 2027 or 28? To make that change?
I think
I think that's
Take
No,
years off.
I think 25, 26.
Years off?
No, the year, I think the title, the slide title is fine. I think we just say 3-year projected.
And second question would be in that operating surplus column, do you want to add a paragraph or a sentence about what you just said?
And then I think we have an asterisk. So then I think we change the comment, the body, the text body to address the 3-year projection as opposed to a single year
Okay,
deficit.
so I want to, I understand the precision and the accuracy that you're trying to drive at, but for readability, can we please keep it at operating budget or operating surplus? And then in the text, you can have some explanation about, the 3-year
Yeah, that
thing.
makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Within,
And I mean, you could take, I mean, when we format, we can take the colors out of the bottom and try to do something in status
Yeah,
to designate a less loud volume of color.
Yeah, I think we can definitely, the formatting, the final kind of polish.
yeah. So we've kind of gone deep into this slide. We have strong feelings about this slide. Coming back up on the flow of things, are you guys okay with the changes that I've made here? And do we want to revert back in it, or how do we revise this going forward?
Well, just slide 6 is fine. Is
Yeah,
that
I like
what we're
the flow.
asking?
I think it's about the district.
Doug,
I think it's interesting.
Vern, Ancha, do you have any opinions? I know Doug, you and Vern were there last week, but we're just trying to consolidate, shorten, get to the point where last week's comment in the beginning from Rebecca W was not really sure there's a clear message here other than at the end, we know we're taking in less revenue than we're spending moving forward. And that sets us up for the call to action to do things about it. And the district is already doing that. So
Or
it's kind of where we're at now, but Patty's giving her.
yeah,
update.
basically what I'm trying to say is that for slides 4 and 5, it's about our district in a non-judgmental way. And then slide 6 says like, here's our report card. Are we good or bad? And then after we say slide 6, we're kind of good, we're kind of bad. Then after that, we start to explain why some of these are green and some of them are red.
Okay, that sounds good.
It was thought to maybe making it more bite size, like a SWOT or something, like
Yeah.
reserves are healthy, expenditures are healthy, facilities funding's okay in different slides. AV is an issue, and last slide, operating margins an issue, kind of related to slow AV growth, and then have the discussion about those concern topics. I don't know. I kind of
Yeah.
like a more bite size.
Yeah. Agree.
But you're saying add a slide for each of the columns then, so that would be adding 5 slides, correct?
Yeah, and you just kind of go through them, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
What if we, so we've done this in the past with our budget presentations, because you put so much up there, people's eyes glaze over.
Yes.
But what if we just mask it? So we do one at a time. So as you're presenting, first box, second box, third, and you have time to go through one by one. maybe that accomplishes multiple slides, but you keep it in one. Just.
Yeah, that would be fine, yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it's a lot to take in
It is.
one view, like, oh, healthy, concern, caution, healthy, stable.
Unanimated slide content. I just want to remind everybody here, I don't think I can do this. So somebody who suggests it will have to do it.
I can do the masking.
I mean, I can do it. I just don't have time to.
I'm happy to do the masking on this one.
Okay, so that's formatting, right?
Okay, and then do we have enough content for for five, the 5 slides?
I think so.
Well, we're not gonna do 5. We're gonna animate the one. We're gonna use this one, right?
I'm just gonna take this one. It's super non-technical and we put a box over each one. And as you hit the button, the box disappears.
We're not gonna add 5 slides. I don't,
Okay.
I would,
Rebecca's saying that
I would
it goes.
endorse not adding 5 more slides.
Okay.
Because the point of this is we're
I
trying
think
to.
that's what I heard from Doug.
But so it's like when you are doing a corporate presentation and it kind of like, woo, here's me, woo, now here's Patty. It's animating the slides, right? I mean, is that what you,
I mean, this is
Would-
what inside the screen.
does that work for you?
Click.
Do you think that might solve kind of? Do you have a strong opinion about adding specific slides per content? Doug,
Not really, no.
I believe in Rebecca W. I can,
Okay.
I'm happy to do
I
it.
do, I can.
Okay,
do PowerPoint.
I'm on board now because I was previously not quite on board with adding 5 new slides. Okay, all right, I'm fine with that. And then we can go into our slides 8 and 9 to explain what's happening with the orange and yellow columns. Is that right? Are we in agreement there?
Yeah.
Okay. I had pulled up slide 7 because I was like, well, here's where we talk about the issues. In the interest of time, it sounds like we won't have content on teacher housing developments and ongoing cost of living and inflation and allyship. So we can always create those for at a
I think
later
the
publication
intent that we
date.
talked about was those would be follow-up. I think Angela made a good point that those were kind of overwhelming for an intro course, but that those were gonna be hot topics
Okay.
post the intro
I mean,
piece.
something that we're getting some feedback on budget right now, and I think community is not as aware because we put it out in newsletters about the staff housing and kind of the change and what's happening, but I don't know if that's internalized yet.
Fair enough.
Put together a slide, and if we run out of time at the end, then we can do perhaps if you want.
Yeah. Let's focus on what we have right now. And then I mean, this is a start and we can always update it in later publications, right? So I prefer to put up a shorter deck with content that we feel good about than a longer deck with content where we're like, oh, let me explain it better.
I think the other thing that will do is let people come up with their own questions they've got for hot topics, just getting what we've shared. And then that can inspire us moving forward on these hot topics, what to focus on.
Gotcha. Okay. Slides 7 and 8. I have some suggestions on how to tell this story a bit better, but continuing on the flow of things.
Well, let me ask you this. Could you make that change and present it the way you want it?
Yes,
I mean, it doesn't have to be today.
yeah,
But I think what we'd love to do, and I think you would agree, is let's get this done this month so we can do the meeting
sure.
publicly. But if that's something you feel strongly about, I don't disagree. I mean, there's lots of room for improvement here. Can you pull up slide 8 really quick? Because I think I did something there that was different than what was last week. Yeah, so what I did after last Wednesday was I went into the 2 decks you shared us from the first interim, they were district decks, and I pulled info from those that were relevant to these topics. So these are kind of placeholder for what I think you're getting at, Patty. But if you want to figure out how to make that part of our message better, I'm all for that. I still will, if you think you want to use the graphics, I can still create those in Excel.
Okay. There is a slide that Rebecca C had made eons ago. That basically showed that revenue was growing slower than expenses. And that's pretty much all you need to say. Like how much faster, how much slower, like all of that is discussable. But I think the basic concept is like, hey, look, your income, your salary is staying the same, or sorry, for your home finances, your salary stays the same, but your kids are spending more money. Like problem. So that's basically what's happening here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like 7 and 8 are very similar. Do we want to keep it as 2 slides?
Oh, it sounds like Patty, you could probably.
I can take
one.
it. Yeah, I need like an hour and I'll
So I think it's,
deliver something in the next day or two.
Rebecca, so it was slide 31 that we made about revenue trend.
Uh-huh.
Is that it? Because we can do federal, state, local, LCFF. I like the bars and how it's color coded.
Yes.
So we could do something like that. And then we
Yeah.
do total cost of programs as a line and maybe
Well, this is only focused on revenue.
focus, I mean, but
So you're saying we should add costs into this?
but that's what I was hearing. So we
Yeah.
can combine this slide 31 and then we have the bars, but the line instead of being AB growth, because AB is combined into that blue bar.
Mm-hmm.
We put a black line showing expenses.
I mean, isn't that what on slide 7, the chart on the left, isn't that what it's essentially doing? I think if we add the latest 3-year projection, you'll see that gap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It flips in 1 year. There's a flipping,
Yep.
what's it called?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a flipping point, and then it's that trend again, if we do nothing, is expected to continue.
What I will do, I'll focus on these two tonight to make them editable. So I'll put a link into a sheet that has both of these without the numbers.
Okay.
And then that way,
But
if you think you're gonna use if you all want to use these, if not, I don't want to waste the time.
I think you only need
It's like
on
like-
slide 7,
yeah.
I think you only need the bottom left-hand chart.
yes.
If that's what we want to graph, no need to create an Excel. We can do it.
You can,
'Cause this is very,
yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
basic, okay.
Yeah.
Cause it almost sounds like 8 is the more important one to you, Patty.
And then I think we,
No, I don't, it doesn't matter because the projections are really hard to explain that they they swing. So it's not, your cash balance it's hard to get. I think we just need the one chart on slide 7.
wait, so are you proposing to get rid of slide 8?
Do we need it?
I like it.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's very easy to understand and it's clear, like we have a healthy reserve of 5. I think if we clarify, like somehow put a band, like a healthy target reserve is X%. And again, in 27, 28, we're projected to fall below that. That's really the cost we're concerned, right? Because I think the metric for the district is a rolling 3-year projection. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, I
Okay.
think we put a bar on 17 to 20%. Even if we do nothing in 26, 27, we're still okay.
Yeah, I think that's okay, because if you go back to 7, we get rid of the right graph, so that's just some bullet points with one graph. Then 8, because we're getting to the point of the end of this introduction where we really want to leave the message about what you said last week. We are taking in less money in the future than we're gonna spend.
I think this is.
but I do think it's important to know that in 26, 27, that's not crisis yet, right?
Yeah.
It still looks good,
Yeah,
but we have to make the changes for next year. Because if we wait to make changes until the 27, 28 year, we're down at 9.82. And we always have more expenses come in than we expect. That's just the reality of it.
Yeah.
You don't want to hit. So maybe making sure public understands we can't wait another year.
yeah,
Yeah. I like what Rebecca C is saying. Basically on the left, it's saying, hey, expenses are rising faster than our revenues. And on the right side, we say, if we do nothing, then by the end of the 3rd year, our reserve will only be at 9%,
Lower than a health will be.
which is below healthy.
Yeah, exactly.
And then,
Yeah.
and I like, let's add that line that says, our target reserve level.
And then on the graph on the left, do we want to add the future, the projected 3 years? Because it's going to be the same.
Yes,
numbers.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically we add 6, 7, 8, and we clarify that those are also forecasts.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you all on remote have input, comments, questions?
No, thank you.
So
Just delete current slide 8.
No, I'm putting
yeah,
it into the bottom.
Got it.
what was the third metric you wanted to add to that left graph, Rebecca C?
Just extend it out for the projected 3 years.
Oh, okay.
To include the same data that's getting us to our reserve numbers in the right.
Oh, yeah. So it's gonna be, right now, it's a old in the past.
I think it's good. We should show both the inflection point to include the inflection point
Mhm.
and what it looks like.
If you want to get really fancy. One thing we could do, just from a graphical perspective, is to put one chart on top of the other. So the top chart is revenue versus expenses, 2021 to 2028. And then the bottom chart, you do reserves, 2021 to 2028. And then that way you're,
Overlaid, so you show one and then overlay the other, or?
don't overlay it. I think that'll be confusing, but that way your x-axis is the same between the two charts.
What the years would be different.
So are we just saying have 21 through 28 data for both charts?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly. Thank you.
So it's showing 7 years for both.
Yeah. 8. Yeah. We could decide if we.
I think we're gonna come back to thinking that we like it separately, but sure, go for it. And the reason is because I don't think everybody thinks that same way. So doing an A/B or a, 1-2 probably will be easier for everybody. But sounds good.
I'm fine either way. You're saying separate out the two charts into dedicated slide into the each
Two
row.
slides.
No, I think it's, I think at some point we'll have to try to do that same pop-up thing with these, because yeah, I don't think they'll be clear enough together that way in that size.
Okay.
But let's see.
All right, we'll work on that then.
So that's the important piece of the end of, I think, this presentation publicly is, does everybody understand what we've presented? Talking about kind of how the district is funded, where we're at currently, where we see going in the future. And then comes the next 2 slides. I think that kind of is part of the story. Do we like how that flows, or now we're at slide 8 and 9, which is not that stuff specifically?
I like how we have this budget process in the end, because basically slide 8 and 9 says, this is how you can get involved. Slide 8 says, here's what is happening throughout the year. And then this is when you can get involved and at what point during the year. And then slide 9 makes it more explicit of like, oh, here are the people that you should reach out to.
Okay.
My only request is from a format perspective, I would like to see the budget process as a circle, because it happens every year. And then I'm okay with slide 9 format wise. That doesn't really bother me.
That circle is tough, Patty. I don't know how you can do that, but I can't.
There's definitely something that already exists.
Circle on if you look at the charts, my PowerPoint, I have a circle, but it's not, it doesn't have as much information.
You just can't put the info in the circle. That's the problem, which is okay.
I can deal with it. I've seen your circle.
Yeah, that's very basic.
I can work off of your circle.
It's PDF, so you just need to type in there. It's not
Yeah.
fancy at all.
Yeah, no problem. I can do that.
And then I might steal it.
It's collaborative.
Yes.
It's called not reinventing the wheel.
Yeah.
It is reinventing the wheel, literally.
On slide 9, can we put in, okay, I see, Mark, you wrote highlight hyperlinks better.
Yeah, I
Just
didn't
make
get to
it
that.
super obvious, like where the links are. So
We'll just
I
have
want
to-
to assign specific slides to specific people.
Yes.
I think it will get lost.
Slide 5.
Sorry. And just to confirm, are we okay putting sources of funding in the about the district, but then separating out expenditures, uses of funding in its own slide?
I think I'm okay with whatever we want to do. I just need to make sure that, can we go back to slide 5? So supplies, programs, teachers and staff. I don't understand. I'm not sure what to pull for.
Oh, I think we discussed this while you,
Yes.
Oh, great.
So just, which right now it doesn't total the total budget,
Right.
this is
so it's just a student, so we need to add something more to make it be the total, right? And
There's gonna be a fourth line there, so. Again, this can be assigned to anybody, I can help part of it too. So we want to show the most expenditure at the top, going to the least.
Got
And there's gonna be one more bar added for non-student. Does
non-direct support.
Okay.
that make sense?
Yep.
And then that side is complete.
Something that happens in the background for us is when we talk about non-student facing is where we draw that line. So for example, coordinators who support at school sites, we say they're student facing, but at certain point, like where does, like, so Nadia is not student facing, that's very clear, but there's a work. So we will determine the line and then I guess we'll share it with you. And then if you decide differently, we'll move it.
yeah, I yeah, agree. I think you guys are probably best equipped to make that judgment. Yeah.
Yeah. And the way that we would fix that if somebody was like, I want to know, is we would add an appendix that says, here's how we define.
Yep.
Yeah, this is how we define student facing and not.
Oh, and is there a difference between student facing versus instructional? I think I saw something that was like instructional versus direct instruction. This is just another way to cut the data, but is there a
Yes.
difference between direct instruction and support and student facing?
So direct support is basically the teacher in the instructional aid, whereas the secretary and the principal, there are.
I see. So
facing
it's
the student, but it's not like teaching.
instruct. Okay, got it. So it's like classroom, then like total school, then everything else. Okay.
We were assigning people to work on these.
Sorry to keep harping on this.
Okay.
On the flow, is I just feel like it's a bit off, but it might just be me. But I feel like the about slide 4 should be just about general stats about the district. And then if we're going to expound upon sources and uses of funding, they should be separate from the about the district. But that'll be the last time it brings up.
Wait, sorry.
You're talking about slide
Slide 4 and 5.
4.
Slide 4, I think the intent is to be a high level. Here's some stats about our district. And then
But do you agree with the sources of funding on that? Or you saying
I agree that we should present all the information on slides 4 and 5, but the way that we've grouped it is a bit off to me. Like, I feel like there should be a dedicated about our district slide, which is meant to be slide 4. It should be kept to high level stats. And then we should either have 1 or 2 slides that are dedicated to explaining more on sources and uses of funding. But right now it's like an overview plus sources of funding on one slide and then uses of funding on another slide.
Well, I don't think slide 4 is being covered in 5, if that helps. Okay, none of what's in the sources of funding is covered in 5.
Yes.
And that's an important piece for people because we want people to know the reason we're taking in, and once the follow-up conversation is had, the reason we're taking in less revenue is primarily out of our control. It's the way the economy is working and the way the property tax is working and the assessed value, right? The AB stuff.
But I think maybe, yes, but I think what Rebecca is saying that about our district, the sources of funding is talking about revenue coming in and it's not really about our district. It's a separate topic. Is that
Yeah. Why is uses of funding? Oh, because it's continued. Okay. Okay. Got it.
Because it doesn't fit.
Yeah.
slide.
Yeah, we could fit it on 3 very easily.
Got it.
Yeah.
That would mean just being selfish with one slide for not a lot of info.
Got it. Okay.
But that's okay. I mean, more than formatting. we
Fix it
should-
by putting continued on there. I mean,
That did
Okay.
help, but I still feel like again,
there's another thing we could do, which is we could make slide 4 only about our district and do overview, sources of funding, and uses of funding. And then slide 5 would be more details on sources of funding.
Exactly.
And then
yes.
slide 6, more details on.
Yeah, I just feel like the
Yeah.
sources of funding is more detailed than you would expect on like a.
So in that case, then you could go back to the infographic you like and pull all that stuff for that slide. Or if that's what you're getting at. And that's okay, but then that's, your name is on that slide now.
Sure, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so let's make it 3 slides. The
Yeah.
4th slide is yours to pull the.
Get a sticky
infographic in.
note with
Yeah,
name.
that's fine.
And then the next 2 slides are really fleshing out the details of that.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's 2 or 3 slides, but I just feel like we should separate out. Here's a high level stats on or about the district. Then we have sources and uses.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think the deck is too long. I think we're just trying.
Yeah, I think the general flow is good, but it just feels off that. But it does help that it said continue.
All right.
So we have 4 is the core info.
Okay. Okay, so now we have a slide 4 that says about our district, overview, sources of funding, uses of funding, and then a new slide 5 that says uses of funding or
Yeah.
something like that. And then a new slide 6 that says, sorry, a new slide 5 that says sources of funding, and then new slide 6 that says uses of funding.
Or wouldn't it just be what Rebecca C is gonna do? Then the second part of current slide 4 would be the next new slide with just articulated properly, so sources of funding. It almost would fit well with those graphics. So current slide 4, sources of funding.
So let's let Rebecca.
Well, no, she's got it. She's got 4.
Yeah.
We're taking, she doesn't want the second half. We know that. She doesn't.
No,
want-
it's not that I don't want it in general.
No, but it's not part of your, it's not you got the boom before the bam. The new slide that you're talking about, Patty, would be educating on sources of funding, right? And then we would show the expenditures. Isn't that what we're talking about here?
Yeah.
Because we're gonna add 1 slide.
It's low, so I was looking for a cable. So if my computer dies, Mark will have to unmute or somebody else in here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I can do that. If you can do
I
that.
think I still have juice, but maybe like another 10 minutes.
Okay. So yeah, I think that makes sense because we're adding a slide that's a little bit more articulate about the way that the district is funded. And then the next slide is the details of that funding. How it's being, not the details of that funding, the details of the expenditures that are taking that funding or using that funding. Is that right?
Yes. You
I
can,
mean, is it just
you can,
general, high level stats, sources, uses?
yeah,
Okay.
you can format it however you see fit. All right, slide, okay, on slide 6, I put Nadia and Mark, Nadia for the data, Mark for the wording and
Okay, by the way,
what?
I'm a Mark with a K.
Oh, you are. I'm sorry. For some reason,
I wish I had a C, but
you intentionally changed my.
it's more.
Okay, on slide 7, I will do some formatting to it. And actually, Mark, you took notes on the order of the columns, so I'm gonna ask you to either write those down for me or do the actual change.
Yeah.
Slide 8, this one, I promised I would do something. And then I'll get the data from Nadia / Rebecca W. And I think we have the charts that we need. Do we need Mark with a K to update any of the graphics? No, okay. Slide 9, we're gonna use, I will go and find Rebecca W's circle. And format it. And then slide 10, Who's gonna highlight the hyperlinks better?
I can do that.
All right.
And then there was one topic I wanted to bring up, how we end it. So the deck itself and the presentation could be what this is. We keep talking about appendix. So obviously when we present this, share it publicly, it can be somewhere as a PDF. What do we think about the appendix and additional information? Is that for us? Is that something that would live in a document that can be added? I mean, I don't know how, we don't need to make a decision now, but is that something people have an opinion about? If you all are hearing me on remote, like how do we want to add supplemental information, if at all? And do we do that online, offline? Does it matter now?
I think we can make it live. I feel like as we get get feedback on like what people want to know more about, we can add that to the appendix.
So this would be a binary version that we distribute as a PDF, and then subsequent to the meeting, we decide how we want to keep that growing, sharing.
I was under the impression that we would post a link to this deck similar to how we post a link to like each SACS file or.
But they're not editable like this.
Oh, sorry, not like a
Yeah.
review version, PDF review. Oh,
You know what I mean? Like it's not gonna be,
there's ways to link a Google spreadsheet, but only in a viewable format. So that
Yeah.
you can't see comments, you can't see skip slide. It's just literally like a PDF, but it is a live version of the deck. I have to figure out how to do it, but there's definitely a way to do it.
There is.
okay, cool.
Have we chosen a new date for the event?
We were talking about January. Feels like we better do it in January or it's getting late.
Yeah.
January is gonna be very heavy with some board meetings where we're talking about budget reductions. So we'll have a board meeting on January 15th. Then another board meeting on January 29th. So you could try to sandwich it in between both of those board meetings, or you could do it. I imagine the January 15th meeting is going to be very, people are going to be listening.
Okay.
Because we're going to be talking about possible reductions. So you could sandwich it in between, because then you have everyone's attention. And then sandwich it on the 19th, like the week of the 19th, maybe.
So like the 20th, 21st or 22nd.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah,
There's no school on Monday. On the 19th, it's Martin Luther King. So
That's a what?
It's aggressive timeline for us.
it is because of the holidays.
And we won't have much time we'd have to do it a lot of this.
Well, I think we're almost there. I mean, if we can just commit to
Close.
this done by the new year.
I feel like I agree, but I feel like we say that every time. And then every time we re-meet, it's like a lot of ideas. And
We have a scheduled meeting for January 21st, which is that week, for a BAC meeting.
Yeah, so that week.
I do worry about. Everyone needs to practice.
yeah, presentation. Who's actually presenting?
I think each one of you can do the whole thing all on your own, but I don't know if you guys, because all of you are very capable, but
I'm not so worried about that. I mean, I'm worried about getting it done because we haven't gotten it done. But we're all grown-ups here, right? Let's just get it done.
No, I agree. We should have a deadline.
I mean, that's
A firm
it. Let's just
deadline.
get it done by the
Yeah.
1st and be happy with it.
Let's get it done before we go on holidays. And then I know that seems a little aggressive, but
No,
do you feel like we're pretty close? We have a good idea of what we want on every slide. It's just a matter of doing it.
I don't think there's gonna be a surprise here for this first meeting. It's just deciding who's gonna present, who's gonna take questions, having the content. I don't know. I mean, do you all have an opinion out there? I think if we wait till February, we might miss a second meeting this year.
Yeah, agreed. And since the board is already talking about budget cuts, this is, couldn't come earlier. I mean, yeah. It has to come.
This may be too aggressive, but we did it on the 20th and did a postmortem here on the 21st. or we did our meeting on the 21st and we did the meeting on the 22nd.
I wouldn't do it on the big meeting on the 20th because it's right after a 3-day weekend. People forget.
So the 22nd, we have something on the books on the 21st, or the
I would-
22nd?
Or do we want to just turn our meeting into the public forum here?
It would seem like Thursdays are typically held for meetings, for board meetings, so to 22nd Thursday might be a good bet.
Yeah, the
Put
22nd.
a placeholder on it.
Yeah,
I mean, if people can't commit that much time, that's fine. You missed the meeting the day before, but at least whoever, well, then we have to decide.
How are we marking it? Again, it's hard to hear others who are sitting further away from Nadia. Which two final dates we're talking about?
We're thinking on the January the 22nd.
We have a back meeting on the 21st. So we're talking about meeting on the 21st, prepping for the next day.
Yeah.
Or.
And then board meeting on the 22nd.
Maybe we do that online. Maybe the 21st is all online. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I can be here 2 days in a row, but
Board meeting is in person, right? We have to be in person. Rebecca? Or Silver?
We had decided that we would do it in person here in the boardroom.
yeah, we would do it in both. It's a hybrid model. So the BAC will be here in person at the district office, but we'll also live stream it so that people can dial in.
can people come here too or no?
And I think so, yeah.
I mean, you can.
Well, yeah, isn't that the point of this, is to be with the public? Wait, isn't the whole point of this meeting?
Don't you
just-
want to sit in a board seat?
No, but I guess, let me just fact check here.
Yeah.
Isn't this public meeting for the public, like,
Yeah,
not remote, right?
well, no, I
You
think,
can stream it, but we're
yes.
saying, hey, come and see us, we're
Yes,
here.
yes,
If you
it's,
don't,
that's what I mean by hybrid.
Okay.
You can come in person, but you also have the option of dialing in.
so I know we're over time, why don't we do this? Why don't we currently keep the back meeting for the 21st for final prep? 22nd is the meeting.
Yeah.
22nd is, did we just designate an hour? I think we designated 2 hours to that.
Right, I'm gonna hold it from 5 to 6.
Okay,
Do you want it earlier, later?
do we want to bring coffee, and I'll bring some stuff if we want. Coffee and cookie or something, whatever. Do we want to do like a 15-minute be here and then we're gonna start, or?
Too late? I'm trying to figure out like people's
Yeah.
spots with kids, like that's dinner time or
Yeah.
if you're at 4 and that's too hard because work, that's too early.
What if we do a 4:30 to 6 and we do a 5 to 6 actual content?
Okay, so can somebody unmute yourselves? My battery died. Thank you.
I've noticed people, as much as we like to hang out with them, they don't come to hang out.
Okay.
And because I like it because it builds community, but oftentimes like they don't.
I just don't want people to feel like they can't come early to be here on time.
What if we say 4:30, 5:30? So maybe that can hit both groups. So
4:30 to 5:30, but we know we can go till 6, so we
Yes.
know it's gonna end late. That sounds good.
Okay, that sounds
And-
good.
we can do it till 6.
And then, can we, while we have time here, just designate who's doing what, or at least you propose?
I've already proposed and I do need to go. So what I will also do with Doug is figure out the timing of getting the deck done and approved by Jeff. And then we'll use our 21st meeting to do prep.
Minute.
Yeah, yeah. So our content should be done by
So you're
2
gonna,
weeks before, I would say.
well, should we get the deadline and have it done by the 1st? So you can get it approved then?
Well,
Should we move on?
I assume
And-
Jeff is taking some time off too, so,
But after Jan 1, you can get it.
yeah, so basically, yeah, I need to think about it, Mark. So, but yeah, basically, my target is that we finish our content building before we go on holiday. And then we do, I kind of want to run it by Shelley, for example, on to get it to the same look and feel as other district
We
documents.
don't want to do
I
that.
want it,
You made a good comment. We don't want it to feel like the district made the presentation.
But Shelley can check it just to make sure. Sometimes she reads it from a public perspective. I'll put stuff in there. and
exactly.
Someone says,
Yeah, so basically, I want the first week of January so that we could do stakeholder alignment, stakeholder review. And then we can get Jeff's final approval, like at least a week before, but more like targeting January 9th, among all the other things that he's probably doing the first week of January, but
Yeah, we're
Yeah, I
back
can
on
help
the
with that
5th,
process.
thanks.
or he will be back on the 5th.
Thank you, Vern.
Okay, thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a good one. Bye.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's just get this thing done. I think we're almost there. I will try to do my stuff this
It's
week.
like, whenever we meet, I feel like we have like, it's so easy to